All right, all right. A round of applause again for the 10 presenters just now. That was incredible. We're in good hands. We have some amazing visionaries, some great business models, wonderful feedback for the judges. So we're entering the final phase as we narrow it down to Cinco, 5, who will be presenting at 4 o'clock on the main stage. And so we have the 10 later stage companies who will be coming up. I'm going to read each one of the company names, and then I'll present the first. So the 10 later stage pitches will be done by first, B2Gov. If the supporters are out there, definitely. Yeah, there we go, there we go. Comunidad Feliz. There we go. Evolve. There's a cue there. I'm sounding evolve. Yeah, thumbs up. Thank you. All right. Hamilton Perkins Collection. All right. Reggie Matt 3D. Big contingent. I dig it. Rosesso Technologies. We need some support for them. We can just clap them. There, they need some help. All right. And then we have RocketBot, Stream Media, WiseCut, and Ybot. You guys are in for a treat. Let's give them a big round of applause and welcome up B2Gov first.
Hello. Have you ever tried to sell something to government? Probably you don't. The system can be so overwhelmed that most of you neither try to do that. I am Paola Diegues. I am the CEO and co-founder of B2Gov, and I'm going to share with you why selling to government with us is achievable. During the 13 years I have been working for 3M, I have the opportunity to work very close with a dedicated team that was looking all the time opportunities to sell in government. They spend so many times that sometimes we neither have time to prepare a winning proposal. Imagine how difficult it is to do that. That's only 6% of the whole registered firm around the world participate in the 15% GDP that the government generates with their purchases. This is why, the main reason why this happens is that the information is widespread all over the world. There is very technological support, and most of the processes in the companies are manual. This is why we exist. We are here to transform public procurement data into business opportunities, but we do that into a very specific way. For the one side, we collect all of the information for the public procurement sites. We are the biggest government public procurement database and laboratory in Latin America. We collect information for more than 5 million specifications for more than 10,000 public procurement entities. We match that with the portfolio for our customers, and we deliver with our proprietary methodology the platform for them. In the platform, they can access strategic planning tools and also operationals. But the most important thing is that they freed up 80% of their time in order to dedicate the time to understand the market and win and play to win in the market. We are a software as a service, so our main sources of revenue are subscriptions. We have 26 customers active nowadays with our retention rates of 85%. And we have customers that have been growing their business in government for the last 3 years with us. In terms of our competitors, we are the only one that have the capability to define the granularity for the information, matching the customer portfolio, and also having a very sophisticated online report for them at the SKU level. In terms of the market opportunity, we are in the ecosystem of the 15% of the GDP. So there is no limit to scale our company, but to maintain rationality in our numbers, we focus on Latin America, and this year we are going to win the next 150 customers in the healthcare market. Our track record is really good, but the most important contract that we won is one with the Inter-American Development Bank this year. We are developing for them a new platform for market research, combining our data with the Inter-American Development Bank data in order to help them understand better what is going on with public procurement. This reinforces all of our capabilities and leadership in the region. Oh, our team is the best. We have the best CTO, sorry. We have the best CTO that I have ever dreamed to have, Marcelo. And apart from being friends, we have the capability to consolidate a team with shared values. We are passionate to solve the problems for our customers, real problems, and also we deliver results. We are inviting all of the startups, companies, VCs, people that want to sell their business to government into a transparent and effective way to help to come with us and talk in our booth. Thank you very much.
Yes, quick question. Is the company profitable now? If not, when does the company become profitable?
We are profitable. We are bootstrapping and we are profitable.
Very good. And how do you keep up with the requirements country to country? You mentioned Latin America, you cover the entire region, but country to country, the requirements are different. How do you keep up with that?
The requirements probably are different, but the way the government buys is exactly the same. So you have public procurement, open tenders, direct contracts, and everything is mostly the same, but we focus on collecting the item demands for all of the governments. So it's mostly the same. It's so similar that we apply an open methodology, which is called Open Contracting Data Standard, in order to interoperate all of the information in our data laboratory.
For the data that you're collecting, is it readily collectible, or how much human intervention needs to happen?
No, we collecting the information and processing and cleaning. There is no human effort. We are doing everything with robots.
And what percentage of your business is the IDB?
Now, this year it will be 1/3 at the end of the year.
Great presentation. Quick question. So you mentioned healthcare, and also I saw some pharmaceutical logos up there. Could you talk a little bit more about the segment that you're targeting first and how you're thinking about those different segments?
Governments buy everything, but we need to focus a little bit, especially to focus our sales efforts. So we know that the capabilities are in the healthcare market because they are accustomed to have access markets in the laboratories. So the quick wins are for us right now, specifically the healthcare markets. So we learned a lot during the last years, and there are more customers that we can win easily.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
How are you attracting your customers? How are you going to market and bringing in new customers?
Give me just 1 second, please. Here. We develop our own business analytics. We have the database. So we develop the business intelligence, and we know who are selling to the government. So we know who are the 200,000 companies that are selling today, and we target them through outbound sales strategy with very low cost effectiveness.
And what's the difference between the two subscriptions?
The different services that they ask. Is there a basic one or more sophisticated and a flat rate? Probably for bigger companies and for smaller ones, because one of the objectives that we pursue also is to increase the companies that are selling to governments, to improve the people's life. Because what happened today is that very few companies participate, they charge more, and the government spend a lot of money. So we are working on the supply side. Thank you very much.
And what have been the reasons for churn to date?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Just referencing the 85% retention, what have been some of the reasons for churn?
For churn, the main reason is that, specifically in the pandemics, we won many customers that participate only with respirators and alcohol. When the pandemic goes down, they get out of the business. And sometimes there are many customers that they offer a lot. Most of the companies offer 10 times what they sell, at least. And when they realize the prices and the competitiveness that they have, they run out of the business. So this is the main reason, but not big. If there are companies that continue in the business, we never lose one. Thank you very much, and I want to thank all of the mentors, network here, and the Emerge team. Thank you very much.
Hello. 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 Hi, Miami. Hi, everyone. My name is Amable, and I have the pleasure of telling you about Comunidad Feliz, a software as a service for homeowner association based in Chile and Mexico. At Comunidad Feliz, we dream of a world where people live happily in community. We are achieving this, solving these problems. Low transparency in common expenses, poor communication between neighbors and administrators, which leads to a high delinquency in residence payments. In Chile, late payment is 30%, and in Mexico, it is 40%. The homeowners association that use Comunidad Feliz have managed to reduce their delinquency by 70%, thanks to two pillars. The first, by having a platform with more than 40 modules for administrative management, where they can automate the process and facilitate collection. The second pillar has been to offer an excellent legal and customer support to administrators. We actively help them become professional, seeking their growth, and we also encourage them to form a community. If we talk about the total addressable market in Latam plus Florida is 38 billion. It's a large market with many opportunities and different verticals to exploit. We know we can capture some of this by diversifying geographically. At the end of this year, we will start pilots in the United States and Brazil, and also offering new products to residents such as rent payments. The growth of our administrator has been key in the growth of Comunidad Feliz. This has allowed us to achieve an annual recurring revenue of $7.3 million, which represents a growth of 40% year over year. Proudly, we can say that we have more than 5,000 happy HOA, which translates into 630,000 families using the service. In Chile, 1 in 5 departments use Comunidad Feliz. Regarding competitors, the largest is Excel with the 90% of the market. Then we have local competitors based in Chile, in Mexico, who has more than 10 years in the market with less of 3% of it. Our main difference between them is our great usability, constant innovation, and excellent support, which allow us to have more than 215,000 active residents, 10 times more than our closest competitor. Also, we have a Net Promoter Score of 72 points, which means we have a strong recommendation from our clients. Our business model is software as a service, where we charge an annual fee of $900 for the platform and $700 for processing resident payments. We are also offering new products and services to community and residents, such as insurance policies, access control, and rent payment. Our incomes is very diversified among our clients. On average, our administrators have 2 HOA. In addition, since January 2023, we have been a profitable company, which means we are not burning cash right now. Something key to bring Comunidad Feliz to where it is today is the great teamwork behind it. We are more than 170 happiers who with effort and patience do excellent work to achieve our dream of a world where people live happily in community. Thanks for having me, join us, and get part of the dream. Thank you.
Thanks for walking through all that and great presentation. So the traction you have to date and the sales you've made, are most of those rip and replace of existing solutions where your competitor is in place, or are you guys coming in and it's a greenfield market and you're able to just come in and set up directly?
Yes, excellent question. Our traction is actually in Chile and Mexico, who we are based. We gain customer from administrator who only use Excel, and also our administrator that use another system. And normally when we sell to administrator that use Excel, we have 15% of conversion. And when we do to administrator that use another system, we had more conversion, around 40%. No more question? No, sorry.
No, no. Good. First, great presentation. Thank you.
Thanks.
So, who are your strategic partners? I mean, do you have strategic channel partners? I mean, because in a community, there are a lot of people serving in and around the resident and the manager. Are you partnered with strategics or no?
Kind of. We create a community because there was a kind of community, but it wasn't accessible for all the administrators, only for the biggest one. So we tried to create a community that everyone in the, or all the stakeholders, administrators, providers, banks, the government can access to this. We have some programs that call Administrador Chile and Administrador Mexico in each country that we try to connect all of them and also bring new administrators that use Comunidad Feliz to the community that ask for administrators. So that's why we help them.
Great pitch. You said you're launching in Florida soon. So tell me more about your go-to-market strategy, if it's going to be different or if sort of the competition in the Florida market versus Chile and Mexico, how you're going after it.
Thank you. Excellent question. Well, Florida is the foreign economic in the world. Maybe everyone here knows. Yes, we have competition here. It's hard. But we trust in our product, and our strategy will be to go to the little administrator because normally the competition here go to the big one. And we rock with little administrator. That's what we do in Chile and Mexico at the beginning. And then the biggest administrator comes to us when they see that the work that we do. So that's going to be pretty much our strategy here.
Of the $7 million of recurring revenue that you put on the slide, which percentage is true SaaS versus what is reoccurring revenue from rental payments or other?
Yes, sure. Well, I have a slide, or, well, I can tell you. But thanks. Thanks, Victor. That's how it is the distribution of our recurring revenue. So the SaaS is around 60%. And processing residence payments is the rest. We are also selling insurance right now. Actually, the last month we grow 23% only in this new product because, well, we have all these clients who trust us, so it's easy to sell new products and services.
And what's on the product roadmap? Are you doing anything beyond rental payments like access control or tenant engagement or move-in, etc.?
Yes, that sounds like a lot of things, but we trust in our team, in our leads, and we are doing insurance policies in the beginning to the buildings and HOA, but after to residents because we have already 630,000 residents, so there's a very potential market. Also, we are doing access control because, well, the first need that we want to attend was the transparency, try to help with the delinquency, but there is other needs. So we are trying to help with access control, rent payments, insurance. So that's why we are diversifying different products now. But yes, in the market where we are still consolidated, and the new market is only with the SaaS from the beginning. Thank you.
How many of you here have watched someone you love suffer from a disease and felt helpless? When I was a boy, I watched my mother suffer from multiple sclerosis and the failure of the healthcare system. And as a data scientist, I wonder, how do we change that with the power of artificial intelligence? The COVID vaccine was designed by computers in a matter of weeks, and that speed changed our lives. What if we could do the same for antibodies, some of the most powerful medicines on the planet? Antibodies are used to treat diseases like cancer, autoimmune disorders, like arthritis. In fact, last year, the #1 and #2 selling medicines in the world were antibodies. It's a $250 billion market that's going to double in the next 4 years. Now, to discover antibodies today, doctors will inject animals like bunnies and llamas with diseases like cancer and AIDS and harvest those poor animals' blood and organs to find the antibodies hidden within. It's an inhumane process that fails 90% of the time, and those failures cost $7 billion every year, and they're keeping life-changing medicines from reaching the people that we love. It's clear that we need a fundamental change, and that's where we come in. At Evolve, we leverage advances in computation like artificial intelligence to transform the process of antibody discovery for biotechs and pharmaceutical companies around the world. This is our product. What you're looking at here is the recipe to make the #2 selling medicine in the world, an antibody called Humira. It does $20 billion a year in sales. And this is what we sell, antibody sequences. And our technology is significantly better than traditional antibody discovery. And not only are we better, but we do this in weeks instead of months. Our customers pay us for those sequences. And from that first payment, we're already profitable. And then they pay us for exclusivity on those sequences. And then they pay us again to buy the rights to patent those sequences. And they choose us because we're faster, easier, and less expensive than any other AI-powered antibody discovery company out there. Since launching our product in May, we've signed 34 deals, including with 4 of the top pharmaceutical companies. Now, deals like this normally take 24 to 36 months, but we were able to do this in less than 6, and that's what makes Evolve a profitable company. And we're on the path for exponential growth while maintaining a 75% profit margin. Our team is led by experts in artificial intelligence and antibody design, with veterans from the many companies that you see here. But the mission of Evolve goes beyond just designing antibodies for other companies. You see, Humira, the #2 selling drug in the world, it does not work in 70% of the patients it's prescribed to. And that's because medicine today is designed for the disease, not for the patient. That's what's kept my mother sick for most of my life. But what if we could design a drug just for you to treat cancer or the hundreds of other diseases that antibodies are used to treat? That's the future we envision at Evolve. Now, to help fuel our growth, we've opened a $3 million funding round. We have a lead investor, we have a term sheet, and we have about a third of the round left. So if you think you're the right investor for us, we'd love to talk to you. Together, let's transform how medicine reaches patients. Together, we can change healthcare, and together, we can evolve how medicine is designed. Thank you.
Andrew, it's a great presentation. Thank you. Why can't Merck do this? They spend $3 billion on this type thing. You're raising $3 million. So how are you going to prevent them from, and by the way, they're probably here in this audience listening to, they probably copied your algorithm, your sequence on. So tell me, why can't they do this and crush you?
Merck is already doing this. But there are several pharma companies that are already doing this that are already our customers. You see, pharma companies don't choose one path to discover medicine. We're an and to the process. And like any piece of software, you can use it to do one thing or the other thing. So they're actually, these types of companies also use us because their models work one way, our models work another way. And they want to see what works best because their goal is to get medicines to patients. So there are all the big pharma companies are already designing technologies like us. But who isn't designing technology like us are the hundreds of biotech companies that don't have the resources to hire people like me and the team at my company. And those are also our customers. So we're not just targeting large pharma. We also target biotechs. We target universities. We target reagent companies that are doing billions of dollars in sales each year and don't have the resources or the skill set to do what we're doing.
So the question I was going to ask was, how do you compress this time for the sales cycle from the 18, 24 months down to the 6? But I think you just answered that question. But what's going to make you a lasting value proposition for your customers versus essentially in a pilot or an experiment? Like, is there a path to grow the customer value over time?
Yeah, so the business model that I shared earlier is a Trojan horse model. So our customer can only actually buy that 3 times before doing a larger scale deal, where the upfronts aren't in the tens or hundreds of thousands, but they're in the millions of dollars with billions in back ends. So really what this does is it allows us to demonstrate to the scientists, who then have become advocates of the company, to be able to do those billion-dollar deals with us, because they see the technology working in front of them. Because it's very different from me telling you that it works versus you seeing that it works. And so they become advocates for us, for the company. So the business model we have right now is really designed to get the foot in the door, to show them that it works. And then we turn into much larger scale business. We also recognize that we're also making it the easiest possible to leverage AI. Rather than having to build or spend years of time building out these products, we make it super accessible to anyone. They don't even have to touch software. They don't get to touch our software. We just deliver the sequences that you see. But your question about the 18 to 24 month sales cycle is actually a really good question. The reason we were able to turn that 18 to 24 month sales cycle down to less than 6 months is we eliminated every single obstacle that can get in the way from us doing a deal. Typically, when you're adding royalties into the deal, you have to deal with vice presidents and people in the executive office. But we've priced this so that we're just a procurement product. So the scientists who are our customers have the ability to buy this without getting approval from others because it's in their discretionary budget. So this allows us to get in the door. And it's something that we learned the hard way, because we were doing it for years, trying to add milestones and royalties because that's what investors want. But we found that to get this kind of traction and show that the product works, getting rid of anything that could get in the way, and that's what allows us to reduce our sales cycle, which was a good question. So,
Andrew, love what you're doing. Very compelling pitch. How close are we to having personalized medicine be the norm, and what needs to happen in order to get there?
So we're probably 10 to 20 years away from that. The technology as a whole isn't there. So our hit rate, as I mentioned earlier, is about 5%. We need to be approaching something closer to 80%. So there still seems to be training done. So from a technical perspective, there's also the regulators. So regulators do not understand how to do personalized medicine. All of us in here who take Tylenol, those are panaceas. Everybody takes the Tylenol for headache. Then precision medicine is Advil for you, Tylenol for me. But personalized medicine, where it's a headache medicine for Andrew, right? That's several years away, and the regulators don't know how to do it. And then there's also the costs, like who's going to pay for that, right? How do you get the Medicare and insurance companies? So it's not just technical, but it's also regulatory and commercial that are some of the hurdles to that. But we need to start somewhere, and that's what we're working on. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Hamilton Perkins. I'm the founder of Hamilton Perkins Collection, and we make award-winning upcycled bags and accessories, all from recycled materials. Close your eyes. I want you to imagine, as far as the eye can see, all you can see is plastic. I want you to imagine that it's 100 degrees outside. I want you to imagine the smell of burning plastic. You can open your eyes now. You're back with me. That's me standing in the largest landfill in Haiti, in the Troutier landfill, where I was close to the problem. I noticed there's 350 million tons of plastic generated every year, with less than 10% of it being processed for recycling. My research led me to find and conclude that an additional 40 million tons of PVC is created every year. That's what goes into billboards. That's actually my trunk. I was billboard collecting in my hometown in Norfolk, Virginia. And half the world's plastic's been created in the last 15 years. So what are we going to do about it? We make bags and accessories from recycled plastic bottles, billboards, and a whole lot more. We've sold over 50,000 bags. We've diverted 1 million plastic bottles from landfills. And we've even diverted 500 tons of materials from landfills. We've been recognized by Pharrell Williams' Black Ambition, the Los Angeles Clean Tech Incubator, and LabStart, a fellowship that's allowing us to commercialize climate technology. Before all that, we started on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. We launched with a $10,000 goal. We hit the goal in 6 days, shipped $25,000 of pre-orders. I did pop-ups all over the country, trade shows, sold the products into independent stores, and eventually Zappos.com was the very first client to give us their waste and allow us to do a case study. Here's some more case studies. Hewlett-Packard. We worked on a Coachella project, creating 3,000 bags for VIPs. Ellen DeGeneres, 35,000 bags she bought for her Be Kind subscription box. And Affirm, we did end-of-year gifts for all the employees. And the feedback's been great. We worked with National Geographic's Pristine Seas. They say they loved it. We work with festivals. They like that we're crafting authentic stories. And the entertainment industry really supports us. They say that it's stunning, sustainable style. End customers love us as well. And this is a big market. Ethical fashion is about an $8 billion market. The gift market is massive at $250 billion, and the textile market is $750 billion. And we're differentiated because our patented IP is allowing us to process materials faster. We're working on several materials where the competitors, they only do one. We have 3 factories that give us free feedstock for all of our collections. And the average order values are about $27,000 per order. For go-to-market, we end up doing a 13% close ratio every time we give away products. And with influencers, we see about a 5x return. And this is the tech that we're working on, upcycling mixed plastic waste through chemical depolymerization. And we've already completed a pilot for H&M Gap waste management by way of the California Product Stewardship Council. Goodwill and Louis Vuitton are next. Our team has a half a century of experience in fashion, design, and marketing, and we're supported by Breakthrough Energy Fellows. And now I'm super excited to announce at this conference that I was able to get an investor from the direct air carbon capture market to advise us, among many others. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. That was a great presentation. It's a very wonderful cause that you're pursuing. So thank you for your focus. Give us some numbers. What are your revenues? Are you profitable? When will you be profitable? Do you make money long term? Walk us through that.
Yes, thank you. So we did about $1 million over 3 years with about 150,000. We did 295 the next year and then 554 the next year. Our profit on that is really good because we're not paying for the materials. We see really good gross margins. Right now, we're looking for support so we can continue to scale on a lot of those go-to-market numbers that we had on the slides.
You have some really great partnerships, and as you've mentioned, I'm curious: are most of your sales coming through those partnerships, or are you also selling D2C? What are your other channels for sales?
Yes, thank you. So we've tested a ton of go-to-market channels, like our website. We generated about 4,000 customers on the website, but we found that there were high acquisition costs and there's a lot of budget needed to continue to test. Our B2B partnerships have been our bread and butter. Those average order values are $27,000, but we know that the big players in this market are spending $25 million on textile sourcing for regenerative materials. So we want to go after the bigger markets and leverage a lot of the B2B partnerships that we've developed.
How scalable is the manufacturing process? I know you have a few facilities now, but how much capital is it going to take for you to continue growing and get to where you want to be?
It's a long road and it will take some capital. We're going to start out, we need up to $100,000 to start at a bench lab scale just to get the basic grams processed. We have secured that. Our next phase can be anywhere between 1 to 15 million to build out a facility with reactors, et cetera. And then it can take up to 50 million to sort of be totally scaled out where we can service all of our wildest dreams of clients. And you know, this is a long game, but we've been fortunate. We've had amazing partnerships between the Los Angeles Clean Tech Incubator, here at Emerge. It's been just, you know, phenomenal meeting everyone. So we would, you know, just welcome any continued support on the journey.
How many SKUs do you have, and is there an anchor product?
Yes, we do have 12 SKUs. We make backpacks, duffel bags, wallets. Those patterns are all kind of good, but the key thing for us is the backpack duffel. It's the crowdsourced design. So we have a designer on our team who's worked with some of the biggest fashion companies in the world, and you know, we're always keeping our kind of ear to the street when it comes to design, but we crowdsource the designs, and so we found that that's our best seller, and it is because the people designed it. Booth number 75.
Hello, everyone. My name is Max Devantis, here representing Regimat 3D. We're a 3D bioprinting company. We've successfully printed skin, cartilage, cardiac tissue, corneal tissue, and more in research and preclinical applications. We're ready to take the next step into clinical. Does anyone here know anybody who's had a knee replacement or a hip replacement? I imagine so. Osteoarthritis has nearly doubled, more than doubled in the last 30 years. And the American College of Rheumatology estimates nearly 790,000 total knee replacements every year. We at Regimat 3D aim to develop the first clinically validated 3D biofabrication station for cartilage tissue implants by 2026. We want to do this by using our 3D bioprinting technology, a patient's own mesenchymal stem cells, and put them in a tissue scaffold and mature them into functional cartilage using the patient's own tissue. So we can do away with all the artificial implants, the partial solutions with limited lifespans that end up needing a total knee replacement anyways after a few years. And we aim to do this by differentiating ourselves from our competitors, focusing on a point-of-care implant manufacturing market, using our existing 3D bioprinter research market connections and install base, orienting ourselves towards developing those into clinical applications, and focusing on using patients' own stem cells to develop treatments. Using the number from the American College of Rheumatology on knee replacements, we estimate the US market size alone to be 1.4 billion to 9.7 billion. Our target customers would be major surgery centers, clinics, and leading practitioners in osteoarthritis across the country. And we aim to scale our model using our current install base for conversions and scaling our partnership and distribution models. We haven't reached clinical yet, but our traction in research applications speaks for itself. We have more than 100 bioprinters installed worldwide. We have more than 40 peer-reviewed publications using our products. And we have a track record of revenue growth in our research market. We aim to grow our research market over the next couple of years while we are developing and validating our clinical application, and then aim to pivot and focus wholly on the clinical market as time develops. In order to reach that phase, we need to start clinical trials as soon as possible. And that's why we're here, to augment on our initial funding rounds using European Union grants and equity crowdfunding in 2022 to look for 2 million euros in funding with a pre-money valuation of 27 million euros. We have a team of dedicated professionals to growing the business and a scientific advisory board to help us along the way. and help us develop those clinical technologies that are hopefully going to end up making people's lives better. Let's build a healthier future together. Thank you.
Really exciting presentation. Other than the shorter lifespan for the hardware, which I think you mentioned, what are some of the other reasons why someone would want to go with the bio-identical versus what's being used now?
With the biological implants that are coming from their own tissue, it actually allows for the tissue to regenerate. So you're hopefully filling out gaps, you're scraping away the damaged tissue, and you're putting in fresh new tissue that's going to connect with the body. The other thing is we're not using metal, which is a big part of total knee replacements. And when it gets cold out, maybe we don't have that problem here in Florida, but when it gets cold out, you might get a little stiff or achy.
Yeah, great presentation, very clear. Does it work? I mean, after you regenerate, what's the experience? I mean, does it last forever? Does it last for a few months or years? I mean, what's the satisfaction with this process?
Well, the issue is that since we haven't started clinical trials yet, we don't have any longevity studies in humans. However, we have functionalized the tissue. We do have living chondrocytes at the end of our process that come out of our bioreactor. And we're entering into the preclinical phase now. We're analyzing animal studies, and we also have partners in Mexico that have signed on to be clinical study partners with us, so we can start to get that information.
What needs to be true for you to get through the clinical studies, and kind of what does the path look like from there in terms of capital, time, and the risks involved?
So our very first step is a request for designation from the FDA, because it is a borderline technology. It's a combination technology. It uses what could be considered a medical device and what could be considered cell therapy. So this would be our step number one, find out where the FDA is going to classify us instead of us trying to decide on our own. And that'll really define the pathway. So for us, a big important part of it is, one, entering into the US market with an entity that is affiliated with us very closely, developing our research market to help fund the clinical trials as well, and then having a partner with regulatory expertise that is going to really drive the process from beginning to end, because we don't want to start without having a partner in place that's going to be face-to-face with the FDA if they need to be.
Thanks, and great presentation. It sounds like it's going to be a long kind of road to get to that monetization point. Are there analogs or other solutions out there that have been successful that you can kind of point to and say that's the path that you're planning to take?
There are similar technologies that have one component or another of the technology we've developed. So there's one that's called MACI. It's a matrix-induced autologous chondrocyte implant. This is not using medical devices, and it's not using stem cells. It's using cartilage cells that are then cultured. They've had success with the FDA. They were able to validate it in less than 3 years. And then in terms of implants, that's a different story. We all know the artificial implants have a pretty straightforward trajectory now because they've been around for so long. But combining the two is where it gets tricky, but hopefully separates us in the end.
One more question. So how, with a new technology like this, how do you roll this out with physicians? Since it sounds like it's a new technique to deliver to the patient.
Well, a big part of it is our current network in the research space, because universities and university hospitals a lot of times are driving that research. So we aim to use and leverage those connections, that network, to get into the next phase in key opinion leaders. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Hi, it's so great to be here in Miami all the way from Singapore. I'm Jen. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Rosiso Technologies. We are a Singapore-based medical device company specializing in neurorehabilitation robotics. Our vision is to enhance the quality of life through neurorehabilitation, anytime and anywhere. Our medical devices have been approved globally in more than 50 countries, including the United States. And the patients we are trying to support are neurological disorder patients, such as stroke patients, traumatic brain injury patients, cerebral palsy patients, and Parkinson's patients. Globally, 3 billion people suffer from neurological disorders, and 2 billion of them need rehabilitation. And the cost for treating neurological disorders in the US market alone is almost $800 billion. And for therapies and patients, there are so many struggles. One, there's a shortage of rehab professionals. Two, there's a lack of portable and effective rehabilitation devices, especially for extremities such as hands. And there's a low treatment intensity with traditional therapy because patients are only visiting clinicians once or twice a week. That's why we created the IsoGlove, which is a soft robotic exoskeleton for hand rehabilitation. Through high-intensity, repetitive trainings with active and passive exercises, we are able to re-educate the neurons, reconnect the brain with the muscles affected, so that we can recover. We can help the patients recover from the disabilities. And our devices are clinically validated. For patients, we are able to improve 90% of the clinical outcome compared to traditional therapy. For therapies, we are able to reduce more than 25% of the repetitive work. For hospitals and clinics, we are able to help them to save more than 50% of the manpower costs and help them to generate more revenues. Compared to our competitors, we are able to offer more exercises, more than 30 exercises, and the devices are more portable, lighter, and also we can offer better range of motion, shorter setup time, only less than 3 minutes. And the devices are so comfortable because we are making robots from fabric. Right now, we are creating a robotic AI therapist, which we can treat patients anytime and anywhere. And for the full body, not limited to hand or wrist, but also for the elbow, for the shoulder, knee, ankle, as well as hip. With our sensing and platform technology, we can do remote assessment, therapy, treatment plan, prescription. Okay, we all know Singapore is extremely small, so we have to go international. We have a subsidiary in Germany. We are now trying to come to US market. And we also have a global distribution network in more than 20 countries. For B2B product, we are mainly selling through our distribution channels with more than 70% of the margin. And for US market, we are trying to launch our platform technology with 90% margin, and there is a reimbursement code available. We have an amazing team. I'm the CEO, and my CTO has a PhD in biomedical engineering. We have been working on this for more than 8 years. And we have an amazing team of advisors helping us, and also QA/RA professionals. Despite of COVID, we have been improving our revenues over the years. We are reaching profitability this year. And right now, we are raising a Series A funding of $5 million US, mainly for market expansion and R&D. Thank you very much.
Thanks for walking through and great presentation.
Thank you.
Do you mind walking through the economics a little bit more of how much a given product costs and how much it costs for you to make it?
Okay, I think I can explain here. So the production cost is around like a few thousand Singapore dollar. We are manufacturing in Singapore with a contract manufacturer, and we are selling to our distributors at around 10,000 to 15,000 USD or euro, depends on which market. The final retail price is 20,000 to 35,000 US dollar to euro. So the margin is around 70 to 90%. Yeah. We are also selling consumables. So hospitals will reorder the consumables like the hand glove and other parts of the devices after 1 year. Yeah. Thank you.
Can you describe your deal with the Cleveland Clinic and the overall go-to-market strategy here in the US?
Okay, yeah. So for the US, we have two plans. One plan is the original plan just to sell product. With Cleveland Clinic, we are actually talking to the CEO of the rehab hospital to do a clinical trial. And later on, we may increase our reimbursement amount, for the treatment with our devices. So besides selling the devices to distributors or to our sales team, the other model is to work on the platform model B2B2C, which means we sell the platform for the internet, the cloud platform for hospitals to prescribe our device for patients to use at home. So the insurance will pay for the treatment per hour, and then hospitals will be billing from the insurance companies. Yeah, so we are selling the platform and the devices to hospitals. Yeah.
And what's the initial capital outlay for a hospital to adopt?
Okay, the platform technology is like 100,000 per year, but they can treat probably 1,000 patients every year. So it's pretty fast, like a few months, I think they can earn back the money. Yeah.
How much training and onboarding is required in a market? I mean, you're in Singapore, you're shipping these all over the world, but to get activated in a location,
yes,
what's required?
Very good question, yes. When we designed the product, we wanted to bring the products to home. That's why we designed the graphic user interface in a very simple way, very easy to navigate. Of course, for our distributors, we need to train them. So typically, we conduct 1 hour training, and after that, we will send the training videos to them. We also develop a distributor web with all the training materials, all the user manuals, and whatever that they need, marketing materials. So all the distributors will be able to receive access code to access to everything that they need to do the sales pitch to hospitals. So for myself this year, we are trying to focus on re-educating all the distributors and assessing their performance. So I'm actually flying around to meet all of them. And if they are not performing, we'll be talking about how to re-educate them again. If they are performing, we'll be talking about what are the other strategies to push more sales, right? Yeah. Also in Singapore, we are doing home rental. We are actually educating home caregivers like the husband or wives or even the maids how to use our device. So far, there's no issue. They all know how to use the products. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, my name is Juan Jorge Herrera. Everyone call me JJ. I'm the founder of RocketBot. RocketBot, we are an RPA platform, and we are the leader right now in Latin American RPA and AI. So there are millions and low-value added jobs that can be automated. Boring stuff, copy-paste, etc. And there are $7.5 trillion in labor costs that we can reduce. I don't say this, McKinsey say this. And also automation and bots are the future. Today, 69% of all automated with AI and RPA, we can do it. At least 20% of the jobs, we can automate this process. Everyone will have AI-powered digital assistant or agents between here to 5 years, and they're capable to carrying out different tasks across different platforms. This says Bill Gates 3 months ago. So how we solve this problem? We create digital workers with RPA and AI. So what's RPA? That's robotic process automation, and this emulates the role of a person in a computer. Also, you can integrate between systems, and you can have a virtual workforce. What's the result of this? 85% to save time, 80% to resource savings, and also the bots work 365, 24/7 days. So we have also AI solution in 2 fronts. Right now, we can connect email, read email, understand mails to trigger bots. Also, the same with voice. We can understand what the people are saying, and we can trigger bots. So today, you cannot also have structured things. You can have unstructured things in the process. We also are creating a bot, an auto-fixing bot in our roadmap. The platform is very easy. We have more than 200 integrations to have very easy to develop these bots and execute the bots. And we have a very strong traction in Latin America. We have 19 countries in selling license. We are We have presence in 7 countries. We have more than 14,000 users, and we have a renewal of 85%. So we have today more than 600 clients, big clients, and we are growing 30% with these clients every year. We're competing and winning with the world class of RPA, like UiPath and Automation Anywhere. We have more clients than them in Latin America, and we have very strong differentiation. Instant deployment, on-premise, on cloud, we're based on Python, we're very flexible architecture. And these companies, the valuation of these companies are 15 or 8 million. So we are appear in Gartner, and we appear in G2 like the 3rd biggest and good quality of RPA. What's next? Became leader in Latin America, have digital agents in contact center, start operation in USA. What's the market? 22 billion in RPA, and contact center 187 billions, and the opportunity to $2.5 trillion to reduce cost. Our goals is to grow 2x every year, or 2.x in the final. We already have a first contract with major telco in Latin America for 1.4 million. And also, we already have 5,000 dental clinics here in the US. And our goal is to have 50,000 digital agents for the next year. We have a very strong team, 50 years combining experience, and we have more than 40 people in 7 countries today. We're looking for a 4 million via equity or save, and we already have some rounds before, but we want this money to develop AI and RPA tools, and also to commercial expansion here in US. Thanks very much for your time, and very happy to be here.
Congratulations. First of all, 600 clients. That's very, very impressive. Could you talk a little bit more about the product itself? Like, what are the tasks that the digital agents are, like, tell us a little bit more about how it works.
Sure. The platform, you can easily develop and execute the bot. But the process, it depends about the industry. For example, if you are an insurance company, they usually send policy in automatic form. If you are retail, usually you fix price, or you have to check price for every company. Or for example, if you are a clinic, you are doing the invoice for every patient. So you save time in everything, in every part of that process, you can save time. We have clients that have more than 200 processes automated with bots. So they start a little with some process, and then in a few months or 1 year or 2 years, they have hundreds of different processes.
Why are you advantaged from a data perspective or otherwise relative to the other AI companies, and what makes the technology special? And what are you doing sort of behind the scenes versus what OpenAI is doing for you from a chat interface perspective?
Yeah, I think we have a very good decision, a strategy decision. We're based on Python. And it's like you choose to a good horse before, because Python right now is the AI language and solution. So that's a big difference between our technology to the other technologies. And also, we connect in different ways with AI, and we are giving specific solutions between AI and RPA. That's called hyper-automation. So that thing is different also with our competition, because we are looking for a specific automations for different verticals. For example, dental clinics or insurance brokers or other ones that we are developing.
JJ, great presentation, and congratulations on your leadership. The question I've got is, have you thought about focusing on a specific area or a particular industry? I mean, digital agents in a call center versus emulating a robot in a warehouse at FedEx, those are different industries. Would you go faster if you focused? I'm sure you've thought about that. What can you share?
That's a decision that we made like 6 months ago. We're focusing in contact centers and BPO. Why? Only in Latin America, you have 4 million people working in contact centers and BPO. And we know that we can reduce 30% of that people, okay? automating the process, automating the back process, sometimes process that are in the front. So we are a platform that are recognized like a RPA platform, but our focus right now is to enter to this specific market, BPO and contact centers. And there's a lot of money. That's the last contract that we had with one telco that will be 1.4 million, only for one telco that have 7,000 positions. Imagine that we can put this in 4 million positions only in Latin America.
Could you talk some about the implementation process? Is it your team coming in and setting up everything, or is it the client who has individual members? And if it's them, who on their team is responsible for setting it up?
No, we only sell the solution, the licenses per year, but we already have 100 partners that do that for us. Integration, also sales, but developing the bot for the final client. So the final client have to make a decision. First, they can do it themselves, the bots, or they can hire, in this case, a business partner to developing the bots, to have a discovery process, etc. We don't do any discovery process or any develop of the bots. Right now, our focus is to go global, to have the technology in every product we have. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. My name is Gio, CEO of Stream Media, based in Miami. Thank you so much. Pan Am Sports became the #1 app in the app stores thanks to our technology. We connected people, fans, and athletes with TV 3.0. Every content owner has 4 major problems. Content needs to be distributed live, recorded, or user-generated content. Distribution of content needs to be on every single screen. Engagement is super important so that the user stays on your platform. And monetization, obviously, you want to monetize from your content creation. The problem is complex, multi-platform, expensive. 1 million recurring revenue per year. But here comes Stream Media. We solve that problems for every single content owner. The thesis is this: everybody's a content creator. Sports, media, faith, radio, influencers, and enterprises, they all have the same problem: content distribution, engagement, monetization. And we make it very easy, and we lower costs. But let's look at some example. TD Maxx, #1 media company in Costa Rica, is using the technologies that you see right there to lower cost, increase revenue, engage, and own the data. Pan Am Sports Olympic Committee became the #1 app in the app stores, and Herflix created the Netflix of women, powered by Stream Media. And it's all about communities. 120 enterprise customers, 5 million of ARR revenue, 141 geography, but this is big. 82 million viewers that we manage and operate. Every single red dot that you see there are people that our platform is managing. We know who they are. We know what they're doing. We have the analytics for them. And we're building communities. What you see there are communities. And our business plan is monetize per viewer. $1 to $5 will enable us to exponentially grow with a CAC of 0. We already have the users. We already have them. So we'll go back to the customers. Our SaaS, the blue line, is going to continue to grow, but our revenue per user is going to grow. And how we're going to do that? We're going to do all these fun things for our customers. AI content creation, user-generated content, betting options, ads, and we're going to do revenue share with every single one of our customers so that they can monetize and we can monetize per viewer. Yes, it's a game-changing technology. The market is exploding. $500 billion for the content economy. And think about this. It's not just influencer marketing. Everybody's a content creator. When you look at the TAM, it's huge. But we're really focused on our SAM, right? 82 million viewers times $5. That's what we're going after. And we're doing it. Fantastic team. Remember this. Every Batman has a Robin.
great CTO. He's here in the room, Antonio, fantastic. We have offices in Miami, Argentina, Costa Rica, Colombia, and Europe. Our competitors, you might recognize some of these brands. We're going after them, baby. Yeah, we're building the next TikToks based in Miami, Florida, and it's happening. White label options, not intrusive ads. We won awards. This week we won Product of the Year at NAB, and we have fantastic partnerships coming our way from FIFA, Sony, History Channel, and the Sinclair Group. We're raising $5 million to transform content owners into social media companies. Thank you very much.
Hey, Gio, this is exciting. So thank you for a great presentation. But none of the streaming companies, they're all announcing their earnings.
Right.
Disney, ESPN, all of them are announcing negative profitability. So what is your path to profitability in this business?
Right. So the difference with just providing another streaming service is that we're building communities. So we're going back to the streaming companies that are suffering because they're not able to keep the churn under control, and we're offering them to build social media companies. The competitors of Netflix, of Comcast, of NBCs are the TikToks of this world, right? So that transformation, and we just came back from the NAB show, which is the biggest media show in the world. And the answer is basically everybody's looking to build communities, not just another content streaming app. People are tired of it. You're absolutely right. There is churn. There is negative revenue around it. But if you build a community, that's where you make it happen.
Building communities is expensive, so how are you thinking about doing that in terms of your influencer acquisition? What does an average influencer look like for you? Because obviously your success rides on creating a business in a box for them.
Well, we're selling B2B, so our growth is actually focused on the current customers that we have. So the 82 million viewers that we currently have, it's already our customers. So we got to go back to our B2B enterprise customers and give them these new features. That's why we're raising the $5 million to add additional features so that we can monetize with them per users and do a revenue share. So I don't have a cost for marketing. I don't have a customer acquisition cost because they're reselling it. It's a B2B2C play. And that's the beauty about the business model. The toughest thing was getting the 82 million, getting the big enterprise customers that actually have momentum. That was the hardest thing. We did it, and now we're going to monetize it, and we're actually doing it.
And what do those content deals look like?
Yeah, so it's so that's a good question. So there's a SaaS component to it. So between $5,000 to $20,000 a month for SaaS, and then we take a percentage of the transaction, which can be 25 cents, for example, for subscription, 50-50 revenue share for programmatic advertisement, where we control because we put the ads in thanks to our patent technology. So there are different ways for us to scale that $1 to $5 with all the features that we have. But the beauty is that zero marketing cost. So it's all organic growth. Plus, we're also signing big deals like Sony, History Channels, and some of the other companies that I mentioned. We're also signing them, and that's also going to increase our revenue.
Great presentation. You said 82 million users. How many daily active and how much time are they spending on the app?
Yeah. So the 82 million is viewers, and they're spending about 1.5 hours on the apps. Yeah, it's impressive. And when you look at the map, what's amazing is that based out of here in Miami, we're completely global, and everybody's connected on different devices. So one of the magic that we do is not only web, it's iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV. We're completely multi-platform, and we own the data of every single user that is connected. That's powerful. Thank you very much.
Hello. Where are the judges? Here, right? Hi, everyone. My name is Ivo. I'm the co-founder of WiseCut. And that's me in Hollywood. Not so glamorous, right? I know. I was the video editor, the man in the cave, but I was also the post supervisor. What that means is that I was managing many editors under me, and I noticed that all struggling to edit videos with voice. Because think about it. If it's 1 hour video and you have to listen to it 2 or 3 times, that's 2 or 3 hours wasted just trying to understand the content before you even start making the editing decisions. So that's when I thought, what if there was an algorithm that could go through this audio in minutes and not hours? Fast forward to 2024, video streaming is exploding, reaching 82% of all internet traffic. Everyone's making videos. And this is a growing industry. It's a $250 billion market, and it's going to double to almost $500 billion by 2027. But how do you turn all these videos into short and digestible videos? It just takes forever. Not anymore. WiseCut leverages AI to automatically turn long-form videos into engaging clips. Since we start taking this approach, we see the first signs of PMF. So before that, can you guys hear me? You can, right? We're seeing like 1,000 new users per month. And then suddenly, we start to see 1,000 new users per day. And then 2,000, 4,000, 5,000. And we end up growing 4,000% to over 500,000 signups. So that's when we attract the investment of the legendary investor Tim Draper, who has invested in companies like Tesla, Twitch, Skype, Hotmail, and many other unicorns at the same stage as we are today. So we are the founders. We have over 15 years of experience in video editing and software engineering, both serial entrepreneurs. And since the investment, we start to grow our team. We start to make our newest version of WiseCut, which we just launched this Tuesday. So we are a SaaS company. We currently have 700 paid subscribers, which is growing at 850% year over year. And we're expecting to grow to $1.2 million by the end of this year by growing at the same rate. And we know that we are just starting. There are companies that make editing super easy, like Canva, and they grew a lot to $26 billion in valuation. But we really believe that video editing is actually the next frontier. So if you'd like to join us and help millions of creators go viral and grow their businesses, we'd love to chat. There's one more video that we just launched.
Got long videos? Introducing WiseCut AI. Simply upload your video or paste a link and watch as WiseCut automatically crafts clips from your best moments. Choose from the top 3 highlights, or harness our AI's SEO-optimized copywriting to boost your content's reach. Need a specific scene? Search by keywords, filter by desired length, or monetize your entire video on YouTube. For personalized edits, tap into our proprietary AI storyboard. With WiseCut, every video is polished with auto-cut silences, dynamic punch-ins, smart background music, plus subtitles and translations. Share your story across platforms and make it viral with WiseCut AI.
Thank you. My partner in crime, in brother.
Ivo, great pitch. Could you tell us a little bit more about the breakdown of your 700 subscribers? How many of them are paid, and are they businesses? Are they individuals? Just tell us a little bit more about who's currently using the platform.
Great question. So all the 700, they're all paid subscribers. We have 20,000 monthly active users, and the 700, they're all paid. So they are all creators. So we say it's a kind of a hybrid because most of the creators, they have a business, they own a business. So they're YouTubers, podcasters, interviewers, educators, anything that has voice and it's a video works well with WiseCut.
And so, great presentation. How are you getting in front of potential customers, and what's that conversion looked like, and what are your acquisition costs so far?
Great question. Actually, the CEO of Google just posted about us this Monday, and it's on Google's Instagram today, talking about how WiseCut acquire a lot of organic users. So out of the 500,000 we acquired last year, 57% was organic through search. So a lot of this is organic because we were one of the first movers. And when people start looking for productivity tools for videos, they were finding WiseCut. From now on, we're also going to still leverage the SEO, but we're also making partnerships. We just closed a partnership with a big AI Instagram account, and there's other partnerships coming up, and also a little bit of ads as well.
Thanks for the presentation. The AI marketing tech category has been pretty challenged over the last 24 months. There's a lot of competition in the space, a lot of low-cost tools. How do you think about competing against some of the other product offerings and avoiding sort of the race to the bottom on monthly subscription?
It's about being laser focused on our customers. Because we were one of the first movers, we learned a lot during those 4 years when we started the company. And then by understanding what they want, we deliver a really great experience for them. And that's how we've been doing it. And it's working well. Did you want to complement anything? Or?
Yeah, and some of the AI options that we see out there, actually, they work more as a partner for us to provide more value to our end customers.
Yeah, like the, yeah. Thank you.
How are we doing? I'm Tomer Gazberg, co-founder and CEO of Ybot. I've been in AI for 15 years, and we've built a voice AI for the deskless workforce, which is 80% of the world's workforce. These people are in agriculture, manufacturing, construction, logistics. They don't sit at a desk with a screen and a keyboard. They're out there using their eyes and hands to do the job. So Ybot acts as a bidirectional interface that interacts with the deskless worker and the work platform to surface time-critical information from that work platform to the deskless worker, and also to conduct interviews of that deskless worker while they're working to stream data back from the deskless worker and to the work platform. It's built on top of our own platform called The Maker, which allows organizations to build voice co-pilots with no code. And these voice co-pilots interview their workers and validate data that they're collecting from these workers in real time to ensure the highest levels of accuracy and compliance. That's built in-house alongside our VoIP engine, alongside our voice AI models, and our own NLP and NLU, and we're proudly not building on top of anyone else's IP. The woman in blue is a real user of Ybot. She's a home health clinician, and she sees between 4 and 5 patients a day, and does between 1 and 3 hours of documentation for each patient. Typically, this would have had to be completed at night. Now with Ybot, she sees the patient, gets in her car, and Ybot helps her to complete 3 hours of documentation in 13.5 minutes. She works for a company called Pinnacle Home Care, which commissioned Symmetry to conduct a study of the impact of Ybot at their organization. And one of the most interesting facts that they found was that Ybot was able to increase their clinical capacity by 15.5%. So in this scenario, a 15.5% increase is like having 15.5% more nurses seeing more patients and therefore generating more revenue. Our SAM for 2025 is 180 billion, which is comprised of all of the US companies that employ deskless workers that essentially that's their software spend. And if we consider 1% of that as our SAM, that seems pretty realistic considering we're just in healthcare now and plan to expand to 2 other verticals next year. We charge on a per user, per month, per co-pilot basis. We can expand each account with additional users, additional co-pilots, additional languages, and additional business lines, which means we don't need that many organizations to use Ybot to hit some pretty serious numbers, and that's reflective in our ACV, which is at over 133,000 ARR. When you compare us to other voice AIs, you'll notice one clear difference. Most voice AI doesn't focus on work, and they are very platform specific, whereas Ybot focuses on work and it's platform agnostic, which means we can essentially automate pretty much any work task on pretty much any work platform. We've been building for 3.5 years, but we've only really been selling for about 9 months. And we've been able to go from 0 to 700,000 in those 9 months. And we are estimating to be at 1.5 million in ARR by the end of this year. We've raised a pre-seed, a seed, and we're aiming for a Series A by the end of this year or the start of next year. And our burn is relatively low considering it's myself and my co-founder Dima, who is a PhD in natural language processing, and 18 other rock stars in revenue and engineering helping to build this rocket ship. We feel Ybot will become one of the biggest enterprise SaaS platforms out there. So if you'd like to join our funding journey or you have any contacts in healthcare while we pursue this vertical, come and see me afterwards. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. It was very good. How do you sell this product? I mean, you're selling into a segment, deskless, or workers with no office, with very little technology, not necessarily sophisticated. I mean, these are manual roles in some cases. How do you sell into that environment?
Yeah, so our customers are, for example, in this scenario, a home health agency. They will buy licenses and distribute it to their workforce. So, for example, we have several co-pilots that do different types of assessments in home healthcare. The organization might have 500 clinicians on staff. They might buy 500 licenses of each of those co-pilots to distribute to their current employees. So that's kind of how we sell in. And we use our existing customers to help train our new customers.
Thanks for that. This is a really interesting and novel solution. I guess given you're focusing on healthcare first, and healthcare has historically been somewhat reluctant to adopt interesting and novel solutions, curious, what sales cycles are, and what feedback has been from the initial customer and new sales calls.
It used to be really long, but we solved some things along the way. Now our average close time is from interest to close is about 6 weeks. So we can go from an organization wanting one of these co-pilots to having it in their hands in about 6 weeks. And if they're using a platform that we haven't yet integrated with, it'll just add another 2 weeks to that.
What integrations are required and how long? I know you said add 2 weeks, but is there really 2 weeks? And then what needs to happen for you to integrate effectively, and how much customer success is there?
Yeah, so we've got a very white glove customer success focus, just to make sure that our customers are adopting and that they are happy and using the product. But yeah, so if the platform that if the customer that we're selling to already uses a platform that we've connected with, there's actually not much else to do because the bots are industry specific. So basically really focus on these really standardized reporting metrics that everyone does, with some slight modifications, of course. But yeah, so after they've been sold, there's typically about 2 weeks of onboarding with some training, and then we actually hand them off to our customer success person, who essentially manages them as they move forward. But again, we leverage a lot of our existing customers as subject matter experts to help them with, for example, how to adopt this into a clinical workflow, for example, because we're not subject matter experts in healthcare, we're technologists, but this is the same model that we plan to use to expand to other verticals. Okay, thank you. See ya.